Hey, what's good? It's Nathan Corey here, coming to you from beautiful Thailand. In this video, I want to share with you my story, how I got to where I am today. And yes, it will be a short version. If you want me to make a longer version, I can do that in the future. Just leave a comment in the section below. Let's jump right in. I'm currently 29 years old, living in Thailand. But where did it all begin? It began in Dundonald, Belfast, which is a small town on the outskirts of East Belfast. I grew up in a council estate and I didn't come from a lot of wealth. My parents were very hardworking people. My father is a painter. My mom worked in a supermarket, and they did their best for me. They sacrificed everything they could to give me the best life possible. They weren't perfect parents in their own right, but they were extremely hardworking. They showed me to be respectful at all times. They showed me not to take advantage of people, and they instilled in me a lot of values that I'm very thankful for. Because my parents had me at a young age. My mom was 17 when she gave birth, and my father was 21 years old at the time. And if I think back when I was that age, I was pissing about, drinking, going out every night, and yeah, having a child at that age, when you're not financially stable, when you're not mature, and you're already dealing with a lot of other problems, is a big task. So if you're watching this, mom and dad, I love you a lot, and I really appreciate everything you've done for me. So my parents sent me to Dundonald Primary, which is the sort of typical primary school there. I had a lot of anger issues growing up. I don't know where they came from. Probably started when my uncle committed suicide. Uh, that that was a turning point in my life. I was quite close to my uncle, but when you're that age and something like that happens, it's hard to understand why someone would do that, why someone would take their own life. And as I've grown older, I realized that you know suicide um, is something that affects a lot of men, because it's something that we think that's the only solution to the problems. We don't want to be a burden on other people. There's too many issues. This is the only way. So as I've grown older, I've understood why a lot of men turn to suicide. But this is another reason why I've started this journey, is to help other men get out of their own mind and become better in all shapes and form. Help men become better physically, help them become stronger mentally, and help them grow deeper spiritually. So that is my journey here, and yeah, it's going to be good to document the process. But before I digress too much, as I said, I grew up with anger issues. My uncle committed suicide. My other family members went to prison for other things. I grew up seeing a lot of violence. I was exposed to drugs at a young age, maybe 8 or 9 was when I had my first joint. I was sexually abused as a kid by another child, or by another guy who lived on the street a few years older than me. And so yes, I grew up with a lot of pain, and I had to find a way to deal with it. Now I'm thankful that I have methods and ways to cope with that pain, but when I was growing up, I didn't know how to deal with it correctly, so I got into a lot of trouble at school. I was selling drugs, I was selling sweets just to make money. I seen that my parents didn't have the financial means to really support me. Of course, we had food and everything, but we didn't have sort of holidays and things like that. Yes, maybe we went on one every 4 or 5 years, but clearly there was financial issues at home. But as I said before, my parents did everything they could with what they had, so I'm always appreciative of that. Growing up in Campbell College, that's the school where I went to. It's an all boys school. It's a very wealthy school, so I would see kids with Bentleys going on their luxury holidays, and it was hard to resonate with other kids because I just didn't come from that background. So yeah, so I was growing up with my own issues back at home, and yeah, it was also hard for me to resonate with other kids in the school. So I became a bit of a joker, a bit of a misfit, a class clown. That's how I was able to sort of get through school. As I said, I got into a lot of trouble, but in my final year, there was a teacher, Mr. McCurdy, who took me aside and said, "You know, Nathan, you have to buck your ideas up. This is your last chance." And it was my last chance. You know, if I got into any more trouble, I would have been totally expelled from school. So, yep, I finished school, went to college, and went on to university. I studied IT at college in Bangor, and then I went to Liverpool University and studied software engineering. I I also in my second year at university, I left due to many issues, but mainly I had a bad LSD trip, and I was addicted to many drugs such as benzos and amphetamines. Just wasn't going into class basically every day, just waking up, getting high, and yeah, repeat, rinse and repeat. The unfortunate addiction cycle is something that when you're inside it, you try and convince yourself that it's normal and it's sane and that everyone else is insane. But you know, looking back on my addictions to benzos and amphetamines and alcohol, it's just crazy how you can convince yourself that you know your addiction to these substances is normal. And that's a big reason why I've started this channel and I'm on this journey. Is I'm here to help other men break free of addictions and give them the strategies and techniques on how to improve your mindset so that when bad things happen, and they will happen, life is full of problems, you are equipped mentally to deal with these issues and deal with these stressors of life. You know, I don't want to see other men go through addiction. I don't want to see other men contemplate suicide. Why? Why? Life is so beautiful. Life is what you make it. You can create your own life. When I was 20 years old, 19 years old, I said, I will live in Thailand. I don't know how. I will live in Thailand. I don't want to live in Ireland anymore. I will not have my own boss. I don't want to live in cold weather. And I will do whatever it takes to get there. There is always a way and means to get the life you want to create. If you want to know more about how to create your own life, check out Revolutionary Lifestyle Design in the comment below. He was my first ever mentor, and he will give you some tips on how to create your perfect life. But yes, I don't want to digress too more from that. As I said, I went to Liverpool University, studied software engineering. It was a good time for me to get out of Northern Ireland and go to Liverpool University because I had to learn to become independent. I had to learn to look after myself. I didn't have my mum and father to rely on, you know, for the laundry and all the housework and things like that. So, as much as I don't agree with university in its current state, I think university helped me develop my skills, my sort of independent skills, self-reliant skills. So I had to get a job as a bartender or cleaning tables, things like that. So yeah, I also met a lot of nice people in Liverpool. Liverpool's a fantastic city with really amazing people. And the 4 years that I spent in Liverpool were uh, as a whole good. Like I said, I did have addictions to benzos and amphetamines and partying a bit too much. But as a whole, I'm happy for that experience. That was when I was studying in Liverpool. I set up an Airbnb in my student house, and that's what allowed me to save money for a trip to Thailand, which then in turn inspired me to want to come and stay here in the long term. So yeah, if I look back on it, getting out of my environment, going to Liverpool was a good move. So if you're a young kid watching this and you are stuck, you don't know what to do, 9 times out of 10, it's going to be your environment. Your environment is extremely important to your mindset, to your thinking. If you want to change your life, you have to change your environment. You are the sum of the 5 people that you spend your time with. So if you're hanging around with losers, people who want to play video games all day, then typically you are going to be similar to them. So do your best. If you find yourself in a bad environment, do everything you can to change that environment. If you're from a small village and you don't feel that you have the financial opportunities that you need or that you want, do whatever you can to get to there. As I said in a previous video, I lost everything. I had $150,000, which isn't a substantial amount of money, but I lost it all in a few months. I knew that I didn't want to go back to the UK, and that environment is just not suited to me. So, with the last bit of my money, I took a flight to Thailand, and yeah, it worked out well for me. So, just trust in yourself, trust in your process. Don't try and overplan things. And if you go at things with the right attitude and the right mindset, God will make it work in your favor. As long as you have faith and you have gratitude for these things, it will work out in your favor. I just want to sort of close it off there. If you're interested to hear more about the details and stuff, I will make a video on that. I just don't feel like it's necessary right now to make an hour-long video on my life story. But if there's more chapters of my life that you wish for me to discuss, I'll be more than happy to share that with you. And as I said, Mum and Dad, if you're watching this, I do really appreciate everything you've done for me. You probably already know that. We speak on a daily basis. So yeah, if you're not my mum and dad, you're just a normal viewer. I really appreciate you watch this all the way you watch this all the way to the end. So you've took a good portion of your day to watch this, and I really appreciate that. Most importantly, leave a comment, hit the thumbs up button, hit the subscribe button. Peace.